A long, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. The shape of the absolute evil was, well, currently in development. A new age of evilness would dawn. Dungeons 4, coming in 2023. Hopefully.
Welcome to Dungeons 4. In this video, we will briefly walk you through the main features of our game. As already mentioned, please bear in mind the footage shown here is not final and in some cases even older than the presentation you witnessed before. Music and sound effects so far are placeholders and were only used to accompany the video.
Welcome to the demonstration map of Dungeons 4. Behold the lush landscape, the green pastures, the picturesque scenery. Hang on, this is Dungeons we're talking about. A sickening good overworld? Disgusting! Ah, now that's more like it. And what is this? A good creature enjoying life in the overworld? Well, this can easily be changed.
What you see here in the center of our magnificent throne room is the dungeon heart, the source of the absolute evils and therefore the player's power. In Dungeons 4, disgustingly good heroes will try to invade your dungeon from the nasty overworld to ultimately destroy your dungeon heart. With the help of your cute and most loyal snots, you can excavate tiles in your dungeon, paint rooms, and thus, tile by tile, expand your cozy little underground lair. In contrast to Dungeons 3, snots will now do everything in your dungeon. They will mine gold, generate mana, brew beer, build traps, gimmicks and doors, and so on and on. Therefore, the number of snots at your command has greatly increased, as you can already see in this video. Once a couple of basic rooms have been built, you can choose from a number of dungeon creatures to hire in order to defend the dungeon and to bring destruction to the overly green and lush overworld. We have a total of 12 different dungeon creatures players can recruit along with 10 extra models and variations. However, all creatures come with a couple of different needs, and that is exactly why we already built a guru farm and a hideout in this video for our new horde creatures to have something to eat and a place to sleep, because otherwise they would go on strike at some point and refuse to do the absolute evil spitting. Well, we can't have that. But let's fast forward a bit to a much bigger dungeon anyway, and get you all up to date what Dungeons 4 currently looks like. In Dungeons 4, we have a total of 20 different rooms to build along with some unique rooms like the throne room. But please bear in mind that none of the dungeon rooms are 100% visually final at this moment. It is time for a bit of fun. Our most loyal snots have managed to produce an impressive amount of toolboxes and neatly stacked them all in this workshop right here. While in the dungeon, players can interact with creatures, but also with parts of the dungeon environment, using the iconic evil hand. In this case, we can tease the cute little snots a bit and make sure that they don't get bored. A new addition to Dungeons 4 is the Dwarven Hero faction. Dwarves are actually a real nuisance for the player as they share the same dungeon and therefore compete for space by excavating new tunnels and rooms. Of course, dwarves are also greedy by nature and will mine lots of the player's gold if unchecked. The new lava environments definitely look extremely awesome in the dungeon, but in combination with traps and ragdoll physics, lava also represents a very powerful new gameplay feature. Let's see how this will affect our brave little group of heroes here. Behold our new overworld! It won't stay this green forever, I can promise you that. For Dungeons 4, we plan to have at least 100 units at any one time. This would have roughly exceeded the technical unit limitations of Dungeons 3 by a factor of 2. But we were too modest by far. After a couple of optimizations, this presentation map here already uses well over 200 units without any problems. But why didn't you have a look for yourself? As if the obvious pleasure of wreaking havoc upon the nasty heroes and their beautiful villages is not enough, doing so also generates evilness for the player. Evilness is actually the most valuable resource in the game, as it is used to unlock new researches in the global tech tree, such as new creatures, new rooms, traps, or spells. In Dungeons 4, evilness can only be gained by an active playstyle, not simply over time as in Dungeons 3. Small amounts of evilness can be gained by simply killing heroes, but for large amounts, we have to complete special quests, like defeating this powerful crystal golem right here. The outcome of a battle is determined not only by a player's army, but also to a large degree by the use of spells. Let's for example end this fight by raining some demonic fire onto this poor golem. After defeating predefined control points like spawner buildings or bosses, the previously good overworld is visually transformed to its evil representation. Let's first use the newly gained sweet evilness to power up our orcs and nagas, by using it to unlock their last research tier, thus transforming them into the powerful Orc Ironhide and Naga Queen. In fact, all Horde creatures possess unique and very powerful champion units that can be unlocked in the tech tree. In contrast to the lush and boring and disgustingly good overworld, its evil representation rewards players with a variety of different biomes. Please sit back and enjoy while we are gladly turning the whole area evil. This concludes our small drive-through through the world of Dungeons 4. We hope you enjoyed the video as well as the presentation, and thank you for your interest. The absolute evil bids you farewell and awaits your positive feedback.